This is Survivor Talk with D&D. I'm Dwaine.
And I'm David.
And we're just two best friends talking about the show we love, Survivor. And tonight is our listener feedback show for episode 11, Come Over to the Dark Side.
You know, I'm a lot less nervous doing the podcast than I am doing commercials.
I know. Y'all, we just spent, I promise you, we just spent 30 minutes making a 1-minute spot for another podcast. I think the Katie Gets Crabby, I think is the name of the podcast. And so we're going to be sponsoring her interview with a previous survivor. And you'll have to go and listen to her podcast to see who it was. But anyway, and so we just spent forever. It's a whole lot easier just
talk about
from the hip.
Talk about bloopers.
Oh my goodness, there was enough of those. Well, tonight we're going to go through your feedback and give you our feedback on your feedback. David will tell us the CBS Express teaser. We will also give you our fantasy pool picks for episode 12. We have my crazy theory, and I think we have Shootin the Breeze at the end tonight.
Okay.
Well, you said you had something to talk about, didn't you?
Yeah, but not for Shootin the Breeze.
Oh, we do not have Shootin the Breeze tonight afterwards. At least I don't think we do. Who knows? Oh, by the way, guess what?
What?
55 ratings.
Woo!
Only 45 away from Operation Thunder Goal of 100.
Have we talked about how awesome our listeners are?
Yes. No, but seriously, we would love to get our goal of 100 ratings and or reviews on iTunes. It helps move us up in the slots for podcasts that have to do with Survivor. So, hey, we also had a monthly donation set up this week. Someone set up a monthly PayPal donation.
So
That's pretty
cool.
awesome.
Very awesome.
I know. And because of that, we were able to buy you one of those cool pop filters for your microphone.
You trying to tell me something?
I can see on your microphone right there. You've got it on. So awesome. And lastly, if you're buying a TV or buying clothes or buying shoes, do it at Amazon and do it through our link. All you got to do is go to our website. And there's tons of Amazon links on our website. There's even a search box on our website. Or you can just type in survivortalkwithdnd.com/Amazon. And that just takes you right to Amazon. You don't even see our page.
Or if you're on our Facebook page, which all of you should be on daily, there's a link right at the top.
Yep. All right. Oh, website. Have you got well, actually, your blog's already up.
It sure is.
Because I read it and edited it. It was a good one. Oh, that's right. Your blog was really good this week.
So
really
they
good.
Haven't been that good in past
No,
weeks?
it was just really good this week.
Thank you.
I don't know what it was about it, but it was just...
Well, I wasn't complaining, which I tend to do when you tend to say, hey, you might want to save this for the end of the season. Don't go off on them now.
Yes. Well, also on our website, survivortalkwithdnd.com, you'll find links to iTunes, Twitter, our Facebook group, the fantasy pool. With, 3 weeks left, you can still pass me up, probably.
Probably.
So, all right, enough of that. Let's get to our feedback. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. First, we have Becky, a.k.a. SeriousChick. And this is her first time to ever send in feedback. All right, here we go. Dear David and Dwaine, hi, guys. I listen to your show every week and enjoy it very much. This year, my fantasy pool scores have been pretty brutal due to travel and watching the episodes taped or delayed. So please don't take my horrible score/standings as evidence of my interest in Survivor or your awesome podcast. I listen to the podcast consistently and even sent in a podcast opener last year with my son Colby. Yes, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're new to us, we used to do a opening to our show. I think it went something like the following podcast was recorded live in front of no one. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That was in our
ages
freshman
ago.
year. Yes, so many months ago. But this is my first feedback. What prompted me to finally send in written thoughts? Malcolm is gone. Say it isn't true. Hiccup, sob. My pick to win it, not once but 2 seasons in a row, mind you, was voted out again this week, and I'm in reality television emotional shambles. I've watched every season of Survivor and enjoyed them all, but I have never liked a contestant as much as Malcolm. He is a fan of the game himself. He is hot. I'm happily married, but this is just an objective fact. Repeating, objective fact. He is charming. He is a physical threat. a decent strategist, and gutsy. All the components of a great player in my book. And did I mention that he's hot? Oh, I did? Well, it's true.
She mentions a lot of the traits that I give to Malcolm, except for the hot one. But
Yes.
she mentions a lot of things. But since she brought up the Fantasy League, I want to remind her and 7 other people that you need to update your overall pick before Wednesday so you can get as many points as you can, because Malcolm is gone, as she mentioned.
Yes. One thing she didn't mention was how he's not very good at reading people.
He thought he was.
Yeah. Malcolm should have kept one of the idols the previous week and given himself an extra week of play, but he is too nice. Okay, if that's the way you want to go with it.
Yep.
If he wasn't able to keep both idols unplayed for his alliance, he wasn't going to throw Eddie under the bus as a sacrificial lamb. I'm mixing my metaphors here, but you get the point. Grief does things to you.
Now,
David, go ahead.
I was going to say, if he's faced with that same situation in his 3rd season, which I foresee him playing after he is physically recovered, do you think he would make that same play again and save another person instead of himself twice?
Well, see, I think which I've already mentioned this, I think the fact that he was going to do like one of the biggest moves in Survivor history outweighed all of his other thinking. So, yes, I think if he were in a position where he could make the biggest move in Survivor history or make the smart move, he'd probably make the biggest move in Survivor history.
But the outcome of Tribal Council wasn't his plan. That was not his ultimate plan. In fact, he showed Eddie and Reynolds the 2 idols right before they went. You know, he tells about this in one of his interviews. So they knew what was coming, and I guess he'd already told them that was the plan. We're going to show them, but we're going to bluff them. And then, it came out from there. So that was he called that the worst case scenario, when it turned out to be probably the most popular Tribal Council in years.
Yeah. David, Dwaine, it's Friday, and I'm still stunned and sobbing. Do you think she's really crying? Like really sobbing?
On the inside, yeah.
Yes, on the inside. The game will continue, but I'm not sure how much I'll be into it. I suppose I'll cheer for Cochran to win now, but I really, really wanted it to be Malcolm. I was so irritated with Dawn's over-the-top drama from the previous episode and her general weepy countenance. When Malcolm realized he was gone this week and started to say his goodbyes while Jeff was still reading the votes, and I saw Dawn give Malcolm her saccharine sweet Mama Earth smile and pat on the back, I was so ticked off I wanted to reach through the television, grab her bottom retainer, and toss her teeth back into the ocean. In the deep end this time. Ugh! Dawn is playing this game for real, but it's a backstabbing, sneaky, traitor-style game. And her doe-in-the-headlights eyes and wimpy I-need-a-break confessionals make her extremely unappealing and difficult to support.
Becky, why don't you tell us how you really feel?
That's right.
I think she tried to hug him. It looked like she was doing the awkward hug thing, and he was already past her.
Yeah. Even in the midst of screaming at the TV, "Find the idol, Malcolm! Dig! Dig!" I have to admit I was amused and impressed with Andrea's play. Following Malcolm and then settling in for an old-fashioned sit-in was a smart move. Playing hard and without apology makes you more likable, by fellow players who end up on the jury, and certainly by the fans at home. I don't see Eddie or Reynolds making it farther in the game. Wait till she hears my crazy theory. The numbers they need in order to make a split or a majority will be too difficult to swing. I think they missed their chance 2 weeks ago. Malcolm tried his best, but it wasn't good enough. Cue more sobbing. Okay, I'll try to buck up and get it together before next Wednesday night. Survivor is awesome. Malcolm made it more awesome, but I still love the game. Thanks again for all you do. Signing out, Becky, a.k.a. SeriousChick. All right. Any more comments on Becky?
No, I agree with a lot of what she said about Malcolm. I mean, I'll miss him too because he's entertaining. He is smart. He's
Right.
all those things that she said, and he's fun to watch. But I think if he could do it again, I think he'd pass and say, sign me up for next year physically. But also going in this season, he mentions about how he's kind of at a disadvantage. As soon as he got there, he realized that he wasn't on the inside of the favorite tribe.
Right.
It was going to be an uphill
Right.
fight. So he was looking for that day to make this big move. And I'd give him the credit for making it. It just didn't work out.
Yeah. All right, next we have Lou from New York.
My comment's titled, "A chain is only as strong as the weakest link, but who to blame?" Perhaps the title for this season as well. Big sigh. Here we go. It's 2 a.m. and I need a drink. No one's tending bar. Malcolm's out. Too bad. Who gets the tip? Drinks were on him all season. I need something. Maybe something stronger. Why? Why is he out? Can't blame him. And he can't blame himself. It just is. Blame it on young ego? How dare I say that? Lou, you sound arrogant. Hey guys, I'm not just saying Malcolm was an inexperienced mixologist, or are most of the players. I'm not saying beers and sex on the beach was not the only cocktail he knew. Maybe I'm saying it's the young ego of CBS casting that lacks experience at this game. How dare I say that? Lou, now you sound arrogant. I hope I did that justice, Lou. If not, you need to start calling in these awesome emails.
Yeah. I feel like I'm at a reader's theater at like one of those, I don't know, small little...
Yeah, little coffee shop things.
Yeah, a little coffee shop, someone up there.
Malcolm was playing... I love this analogy he's about to go into. This is really good. Malcolm was playing pro ball in the Pee Wee League. Frustrating situation for him. Frustrating for us viewers watching this and the season's first few episodes as well. We were expecting pro ball and got the B team. I wouldn't even say the B team for some of these people. I would say you're talking about C and D level. But anyway, looking back, even big leaguer Jeff Kent struck out in his season. Why? Right league, but he was playing the wrong game. Good point. Hey, CBS, bring in more big guns. Not the why them list, or the we know why they were recruited list of players like Julia, Jamar, Brandon, etc., etc. Goes on and on. Feel free to add more D&D. I would add beauty queens and everything else. I'm not really talking about returning players. They can be duds as well. They might have played up to the cameras in their first season just to ensure they get called back. I would. Another good point. Survivor should be just like life. You get one shot at it, no do-overs, no reincarnations. Recruit players and screen them to be sure they have the potential to compete and give us a Survivor Super Bowl. 26 seasons later, and we get B teams. B as in babes, bikinis, babes in the woods, bartenders, bludgeoning wannabe, actors, actresses, beauty queens, queens, child stars, handicapped, mentally unstable, weepy women, etc., etc. Okay, I get it. A cross section. Yes, I like that idea. But the idea I like better, for at least one season, to bring in the cross section from the A team. A as an adult. This is an adult game for adults, and not for adults who act like immature children. Note, not to slight children as immature, most children do act mature.
Okay.
Now, I agree, I like his idea, but at the same time, a season full of Malcolms would probably be followed by a season full of Brandons or Reynolds. You know, you can't put all the A profile. I mean, don't you think they find people like Malcolm and say, wow, let's find another one like him. All right, split them up on the two tribes, and let's find some others. We're not going to find 18 Malcolms. You know, that's a really hard thing for the casting to do. I would imagine they say, you know, we've already got a Malcolm on this season and 2 on this season. Let's put this guy on the next season. You know, spread them out. Try to get good talent for each episode or each season. But I see what he wants. Survivor producers think they're the lady standing in the New York harbor with the torch who states, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. No, 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 no. Nearly, but no. CBS, stop thinking top ratings. You got that, but you have to keep that. So stop thinking B teams, babes, bikinis, bludges, blah. Recruiting is the hardest part of this game. Producers, you guys should be playing your game harder than you ask the players to play. Yes, think game. Outwit, outplay, outlast other TV shows by producing substance and quality. Survivor viewers, fans, junkies can't get enough of the good stuff and need more and more of the best stuff to shoot into their veins every week. I got a good high from the past few episodes. So good, I didn't need to go online every half hour for another fix. It's tough seeing Malcolm or any good strong players go down. The links were weak. Look to the strong links getting stronger as the chain breaks for the season's winner. It will be a strong thinker in spite of the weak casting. But really, it's time for the CBS producers to face their challenge. Hire casting producers who can cast serious game players. This is for immunity. One of you will go home tonight. Producers ready. Go. Regards, Lou. Now I've heard more than once Probst say, "What happened to that person we saw in the casting video? What happened to so and so? Where was that person? The person you were when you auditioned for us?" I've heard that more than once.
Right. All right, you ready to go on?
Sure.
Next, we have an audio feedback from Shayna from South Carolina. Her first time to leave feedback. Here we go.
Hi, David and Dwaine. This is Shayna from South Carolina. I love your podcast and just puts me in a great mood every day. And I love it when you guys laugh. It's very infectious. Well, this episode, I loved it. I was great to get an episode without Philip, and we got to see a little more from Eric and Brenda. My feeling about Brenda is I think she's going to probably come in 4th or 5th. And the reason they're not giving her any airtime is because she's not telling the producers any of her plans, and she probably doesn't give good answers at tribal council. And we know Jeff hates this. So with him being the producer, he probably told the editors, don't give her anything. Same could be true with Eric. And Cochran, I don't know. I go back and forth with him. I like him, but then when he does his one-liners and does those cocky gestures to the camera when he's voting out Malcolm, I don't know. It bothers me. I just wish Cochran could be natural. Malcolm, it was sad to see him go. And from listening to his post-show interviews from Philippines and this season, he's just as much of a super fan as Cochran is, but doesn't display it in such an overt and annoying way. But I'm not too sad he got voted out because I guarantee he'll be back to play for a 3rd time. Well, that's all. Can't wait to hear the next one. Bye.
Absolutely amazing for a first feedback. Actually, amazing regardless.
Yeah.
Good feedback.
Now, I would say the difference in Malcolm and Cochran in their celebrations, I think Malcolm is a little more used to getting his way, getting celebrations, whereas Cochran, especially in a field where he doesn't normally celebrate, when he gets a victory, he's going to celebrate. Now, he's much more comfortable now in front of the camera, in the game, on the island. So getting a victory over somebody is good and as great as Malcolm is, because he is the total package. I can't fault him for celebrating. I'm just glad he did it to the camera and not to the tribe.
Yeah. He definitely needed to tone it down this time. He got one free pass of being I am Cochran the king of all.
Yeah.
And he didn't get another one. And believe me, they would not have appreciated that at all.
Now, but I liked her point about Brenda too. It's almost like she's not giving away what she's doing. She's just kind of playing the game, waiting in the kiddie pool until somebody else comes in. And the same thing with Eric. He just seems to be sitting back waiting. He talks about him making the decisions to be the swing vote. It's kind of like he's just waiting to see who's the majority and then just going with the majority. So until he does something strategic, which I agree, one of our listeners said that Cochran was probably feeding Eric the line about they still need to play their idols, to make it happen. And then Eric brought it up. Malcolm gives Eric credit, but I wonder if it was Cochran that said that.
Yeah. So what do you think about her thought that perhaps Brenda and Eric have made production upset because they won't tell them anything? And so production says, don't show them on camera because they've upset us. Do you think CBS would do that?
I don't think they would be vengeful like that or anything. I just think, hey, if it's nothing good, don't bother showing it. I mean, look at some of the secret scenes. They are kind of lame. There's some really good secret scenes, but Brenda and Eric aren't really kicking out Cochran and Malcolm like secret scenes. Malcolm comes out and just goes right into detail about what's happening. It talks his exit interviews were really good, especially the one with Rob. Yeah. And he talks about so much stuff like when he went to go digging, he'd been digging for hours. His hands were already cut and blistered and stuff. And then Andrea shows up, and Andrea was only there from what he said, probably less than an hour, 30 minutes to less than an hour. And he knew that if he started digging, and they would probably start digging, and they might find it, and that would just ruin it. So I guess he thought he could come back, and then the secret scene of him and the fake idol, that's where the lie came out, and we didn't get to see that in the episode. You had to go see the secret scene, and that was really funny. Yeah. So, but Malcolm is a great interview. He's funny, but he's honest and he's humble. Yeah. This wasn't my season. It just didn't work out for me. I tried, and I just pat him on the back for it. I'm not upset that he's gone because I respect how he played. I mean, we'll miss him a lot more than we'll miss Philip, but we're going to see him again. So you can look forward to that.
Probably. Now, did you see the picture on Facebook of someone that did a screen cap of whenever Cochran and Andrea were walking towards where Malcolm was, and you can see the hole in the rocks with the tree growing out of it on the way to where they were, which made that person believe, and I agree, that Malcolm was digging in the wrong spot anyway.
He was too far.
Yeah, it was on the way to the well, not at the well.
Yeah, he was looking for, I think he said he was looking for a unique tree, a tree that just jumped out and said, it's here. Whereas I guess he should have started at the hole in the rock. But, I mean, he could have put different things together.
If he had remembered what the picture looked like, of course, we have the benefit of hindsight.
Right.
I mean, what I saw on that screen cap looks identical to what was on that clue.
Right.
So they passed it up on the way to the well.
Right.
All right, let's get to Brandon from Alabama. Hello, D&D, and adios, amigo. That was another great episode. Every episode since the merge has been Survivor at its very best, and I am very much looking forward to seeing how this all plays out over the last few weeks. Auction time! This is one of the most fun times for me. It is great to see who spends their money wisely and who throws caution to the wind and automatically bids all of their money on the first plate of food that catches their eye. Malcolm shocked me when he spent $20 on the beer and peanuts. I thought he was a super fan and understood that he was in a dire situation and in need of protection. I guess that really didn't keep him from buying the idol clue later, but it very easily could have and should have if Stealth or Us were playing it smarter. I hope Reynolds enjoyed his piece of pizza. He should have listened to the smartest guy there and switched. That would be Cochran, of course. By the way, if you're new to us, Brandon is a huge Cochran fan.
Cochran for the win.
That's right. That guy has it completely figured out. Andrea's choice to take the rice and beans was a no-brainer. There was an extra video on CBS.com last week in which Eddie talked about having enough rice and beans for about 2 meals. So Andrea had to make that trade or they would have had no food for the rest of the time, and she probably would have ticked off more than a few of the others too had she not done it. When the advantage in the immunity challenge came up, I wonder why Reynolds and Eddie didn't immediately bid $500. You and everybody else that watches the show, Brandon. It makes no sense to risk going home for whatever delicious item Jeff might bring out later. Cochran didn't play it as masterfully as I had hoped he would either, but I guess no one else was threatened enough to outbid him. Yeah, I was very surprised he got it for $340. He should have had to pay $500 and paid it right away.
Well, he was bidding against Eddie. So,
yeah. My strategy in the auction would be to not spend any money until the advantage is brought out and then immediately bid all of money on it. I would never be able to get over it if I was voted out after I bought some overpriced hamburger instead of an immunity challenge advantage. Brenda was so worried about taking a risk, and of course when she finally does buy something, it's everyone's favorite pig brain. I did feel bad for her when that happened, but she was a trooper and at least ate some of it anyway. Call me cold-hearted, but the letters would have been the thing I wanted least in the whole auction. Well, maybe you could put it on the front of the pig brain. Maybe you could put it in front of the pig brain. I guess my complete focus would be on what would get me further in the game, and for me, the little bit of energy from any food would have been more valuable to my game. Would letters from home make that much of a difference for you guys, or is this just opinion of a single 26-year-old guy?
Now, we went into detail about the letters and how we saw advantages and disadvantages to getting letters in our recap podcast. But, you know, it's easy for us couch potatoes to say, I would hold out. I would hold out. I wouldn't spend the money. Even Malcolm, who I think is a really smart player, said before he went there that I got to get this clue and I'm going to save my money to get it. And as soon as something came up that tempted him, his inner hunger, his stomach, his brain, whatever, took over, and he went and got the beer and peanuts. So it's easy for us to sit here and say, I'm not spending a dime. But look at all these people that just had to have the food. $500, you know.
Hey, how about Malcolm saying, you know, I'm not crying, but I'm just as upset as they are that I didn't get letters. But I'm not crying.
I know. He's so funny because I love and the look on his face after he won was like, oh, I just spent money. I don't have $500 anymore.
Yeah. He continues, I love when they do things like the peanut butter. Anytime they have 60 seconds to eat something like that is great to watch. Like that is great to watch, and Cochran's line was a classic. I feel like he is really coming into his own and is so much more comfortable this time. Why does Reynolds insist on calling individual immunity personal immunities? This has been driving me crazy the last few weeks. You think a fan could at least get the terminology correct? Come on, Reynolds. Good job, Andrea, for keeping an eye on Malcolm during the idol search standoff. Why he didn't continue to look when she was there bothers me, though. She already knew where he was looking, and they were all probably looking for it anyway, even if they weren't shown looking for it. Malcolm really needs that idol, so he should have continued his search anyway. In this case, the reward of finding the idol was much greater than risking running out of time to find it, which he did. Not much to say about the immunity challenge. I like the challenge, but let's face it, Cochran is the challenge beast this season, so it was a bit anticlimactic. In all seriousness, the immunity challenge advantage is basically buying immunity in this challenge. Yes, I agree.
Absolutely.
Yes. But it is still nice to see Cochran win that immunity necklace on anyway. I'm sorry, I misread that. But it's still nice to see Cochran with that immunity necklace on anyway. I never bought that Eric or Sherry was seriously with the three amigos. Why would they when they would be 4th and 5th at best? I mean, why would you flip to them when they have already shown they are willing to give up idols to keep the other amigos in the game? There doesn't seem to be a clear pecking order in Stealth R Us, so both Sherry and Eric's best bet is to make a move later when cracks open up. In the end, Cochran's taste buds are satisfied, and the deliciousness of Malcolm's vote out can be tasted all the way in Alabama. Cochran knew how huge it was to get Malcolm out because he was so dangerous. This result proves to me that Malcolm's move last week was just the flashy move and not what would have been the best for Malcolm in the long run. He should have held on to both idols and voted for Eddie, but I guess it's easy for me to say. I am not looking forward to the next week being a double boot episode. Those episodes are too rushed and leave me wanting more. Cochran for the win. Brandon from Alabama.
Great points at the end. Really good points. To me, the head of the snake of SRU saw the three amigos go after what they thought was the head of the snake, and they obviously got the fake leader. So the head of the snake of SRU took out the head of the snake of the three amigos.
Right.
I just wonder, and Malcolm's going to wonder this until he goes back and plays again, if before last week's he should have held the idol, obviously, and try and work the deal to get back in. I mean, he's got Reynolds and Eddie, and when he talks about Reynolds and Eddie, I'm sorry, but it's Dumb and Dumber. When he talks about them in their interviews, and I'm wondering, he was going for the long shot, trying to hit a home run with a toothpick, trying to get those two guys to the end because he would have definitely beat them. They would have all respected his game, and he would have won. Right. But it was, I don't know, he was dealt a real weak hand towards the end there, and he did his best. So it was very entertaining. So that's why we like him.
Yep. All right, that's our feedback for tonight, and it is now time for the CBS Express teaser.
All right, episode 12 is titled The Beginning of the End, or as David likes to say, the beginning of Act 3.
Oh, it's beginning now.
Yeah, with the 2 immunity challenges, we're definitely getting to the last act. Malcolm deserves to be the conclusion of an act. Philip and Malcolm were that big.
All right,
the beginning of the end. 2 immunity challenges and 2 tribal councils raise the stakes, forcing castaways to consider big moves on their biggest threats.
Yep. This is like a weather day at school.
Yeah.
They plan weather days in case they have a snowed out day earlier in the year and they have an extra day that you get off, or you have to go to school if you had a weather day. This double immunity was, if we have a medevac, this will be a single elimination episode. If we don't have a medevac, this will be a double elimination episode. Because they have to stay on schedule.
Right.
So that's what
And we've got 3 episodes after this week, right? No, 2 episodes then Sunday. Oh, I looked this up too.
I don't remember.
Yeah, 2 Wednesdays and then Sunday, because it'll be May when this episode comes on. It'll be May 1st, May 8th, and then the weekend of the 12th is the final. Yep. So 2 more Wednesdays and then the Sunday finale.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
All right, so fantasy picks for episode 12. You ready?
I am ready.
Okay, it's almost kind of simpler this time because there's 2 immunity challenges.
Yeah, and what's funny is last week's responses were much better suited for this week than last week. You know, 1 male, 1 female, 1 male, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's not what they are. So
bonus question number 1, who wins immunity this week? And they list all the survivors.
Uh-huh.
So who do you pick?
Oh, you want to know my answer?
This is why we're covering it.
Brenda wins immunity.
Now, because of the balance or just because there's 2 and you think she's got a chance to win one?
I think she has a chance. Oh, balance, though, for sure. She was a cheerleader.
That's why I picked her as well.
Oh, come on.
Sorry, but that
I picked her first.
But the balance thing with Reynolds about to fall off, I think, and saving himself, I still think he's gone. I think even with their hurt leg, Brenda could probably balance on one leg better than some of these other people.
Yeah, I think Brenda's going to just tear that one up.
Yep.
And if she doesn't win on that one, she'll win on the next. As long as she wins one of the immunities, we get points.
Exactly. And same thing with the next one. The person voted off is male or female.
This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Last week they had 1 or more males, 1 or more females, a male and a female.
Excellent point.
Yeah. So I picked a male.
I did too, because one of the amigos has to go. Even if they both could go, but at least one of them is definitely going to go, I think.
Right. Okay, so far there's no way I can catch up with you.
Okay, this is where you do it. All 20.
No, because go ahead.
Points on players.
I put all 20 on Eddie.
Cool. That's risky, but cool.
Well, I figure he's going home, at least one of them.
I think the teaser is what got me to pause in my point displacement and think, where it talks about forcing castaways to consider big moves on their biggest threats. Eddie and Reynolds are not big moves. They are threats, but they're not big moves. So I wonder if this episode is going to be good because one of SRU goes home and they go after a threat. And so I'm looking at my list of names, and to me, they still don't see Sherry as a threat. I don't think so.
Right.
Eric could be a challenge threat, but as long as Reynolds and Eddie are there, he's not the biggest challenge threat.
Yeah, he hasn't shown himself to be a challenge threat.
I don't think Dawn is a threat to Cochran, because I'm thinking from Cochran's point of view, since he's my pick, I think Cochran and Dawn are looking at the rest, and I think somebody that could get jury votes, not necessarily win a challenge, but could talk her way into the jury votes, is Andrea.
Oh, yeah.
So
absolutely.
I'm splitting points. I still think Reynolds is the bigger threat of Reynolds and Eddie. So you can get points this week. I'm putting 10 on Reynolds, and I'm going to put 10 on Andrea. I'm buying this red herring if that's what it is. I'm putting 10 points on this red herring that they go after a big threat within SRU, because I don't think they consider Reynolds and Eddie threats. And they take out one of their own. And like I said in my blog, Andrea brings up, who do you think should go first, Brenda or Dawn? To me, that's Cochran thinking, maybe you. Because if you're going to turn on one of them, you can turn on me. Yeah. So I'm splitting points between Reynolds and Andrea.
Yeah, I was just about to tell you, I think this is all a red herring. I don't think Stealth RS is going, well, they're not Stealth RS anymore, but I don't think they're going against each other.
Why didn't you tell me that before I put my points out there?
Oh, you wouldn't have cared what I said. You wouldn't have cared at all.
I do.
You know it.
I care.
Yeah. Right. Are you ready for my crazy theory?
Yes, sir.
All right.
It's crazy theory time. It's crazy theory time.
Okay, that's not the song we will use. All right, last week my crazy theory came remarkably close to being a reality.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, this one might as well. Back at camp after Malcolm is voted off, Dawn, Andrea, Sherry, Brenda, Eric, and Cochran go off alone to talk, leaving Eddie and Reynolds by themselves. You know, Reynolds the optimist says, this isn't so bad. We have nowhere to go but up. You bet, Eddie agrees. I think we can get Brenda and Andrea on our side. You know, get the cool kids table back up and running. Well, I'm looking for the idol, Reynolds says as he starts to walk off. I figure if I get close, a cameraman will show up. Production tries to stop Reynolds from going. This is the night, right? This is like tribal council.
Right.
They get back. All these others, Stealth RS is still over there talking, and he leaves to go find the idol. Production tries to stop him from going. saying that they have something they need to do down the trail that they haven't done yet. But Reynolds insists and goes anyway. Off in the distance, he notices people scurrying away. So he's caught production red-handed. Not really red-handed, but off-handed.
Right.
Like they're not ready. Sure enough, as he walks down the path and approaches the spot that Malcolm missed, the spot I mentioned earlier in the podcast, the cameraman nervously rushes forward. But as Reynolds walks past, the cameraman relaxes and even takes a call on his cell phone. Reynolds notices this and stops for a second to think. I bet. He turns around and starts walking back up the trail. And sure enough, the cameraman quickly gets off the phone and starts filming. Again, as he walks past the tree growing in the rock, which he barely notices in the moonlight, Reynolds notices the guy starts to relax again and starts to stop filming. Reynolds does this several more times, shortening his path each time until he narrows down where the idol is based on what the cameraman does. It takes him all but 30 seconds to find the idol, and yep, the cameraman was ready. Reynolds has caught CBS off guard. What he didn't know, but what he will soon figure out, is that CBS never planned on him finding that place. For in the hole, Reynolds finds not one, but 2 idols wrapped up in a note. It reads, Malcolm.
Dearest Malcolm.
Malcolm. Here are the 2 idols for you and your bros to use. We have done our part. Now you do yours. One of you needs to win immunity. Destroy this note immediately. Sincerely, CBS. So they hadn't had a chance to go dig it up after Malcolm got voted off.
So Reynolds plays hot and cold with the cameraman to find the idol.
Yes.
And then he goes to Eddie and says, Eddie, Malcolm sent us a note.
Yeah, he thinks it's Malcolm. Oh, man.
That's good.
That's my crazy theory, and I'm sticking to it. Oh, man. All right. That, my friends, is our show.
Speaking
what?
of that, though, I listened today when I was driving back from Carolina, Penner talking to Rob C. They did a little talk and recap. That's another really great podcast if you want to go listen to it. And he talks about, the joke of being, if you're walking by yourself with no cameraman, you're cold. You're not near it. He said, so if you want to go idol looking, they'll say, where are you going? I'm going to the bathroom. Okay? And idol hunting. So they'll follow you. He said, if you turn around and they're not following you anymore, go to the bathroom somewhere else. And see if they'll follow you. So that's a good point. That's funny. Yep. The camera guy ended up giving up on Reynolds and just sat down and faced the spot. Stood up when Reynolds got close. I love that, hot and cold.
Yeah. Well, that was a tough one. I had a mental block this afternoon.
Well, that was worth the block because that was good.
All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for downloading and listening to our show each week, even twice a week. Whether you're subscribed via iTunes or have us in your favorites list on Stitcher, we really appreciate that you listen.
Yep, and thanks for shopping at Amazon and supporting our podcast by using that link on Facebook and the link on our website.
Yep. And again, you can just type in survivortalkwithdnd.com/Amazon, and you won't even see our website. It just takes you straight to Amazon.
Right.
So if you want to follow us on Twitter, @Survivor_talk, and if you want Survivor Talk 7 days a week, join our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Survivor Talk. Any final words, David?
Nope. I hope the last 3 are better, as good as the last, 4 or 5 that we've got.
3 or 4, yeah,
for
sure.
Gotta be.
Yep. Well, music for tonight's show is Giving You All Control by Jeremy Camp. Thanks again for listening, everybody. That's all I got. How about you, Dave?
I'm good.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
All right. So as you know, if you are a part of our Facebook group, I have moved my location of podcasting. And while the sound quality of my voice has improved, it's hot in here.
I thought that was a shadow around your neck. Is that not?
It's hot in here, and it's like only 80 degrees outside or 70 degrees outside, so I know it's going to be really hot during the summer, but we don't record that much during the summer.
No.
But anyway, so I'm in my closet. So I have a closet. You've seen my closet, David, because you've been back here doing telephone work.
Right.
Right. So I have a closet, and in my closet, there's another door to another closet. So I'm in this little probably 6 foot by 5 foot room, right? That has a bunch of clothes that don't fit anymore hanging up all around me, and a shoe rack and everything like that. And we always keep the vent closed in here. So the vent's closed, so it's kind of stuffy. But anyway, it's like walking through the caves of Mordor getting here. I have to walk over clothes and move the ironing board and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I like the picture that you put on Facebook. That was pretty good.
Yeah. But I enjoy it. It sounds really good. I put a comparison of me doing the podcast in Nathan's room and me doing the podcast here. My goodness, that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
It almost makes you want to buy one of those like plexiglass drum the cages things and put like foam around it and go back to Nathan's room and put that around my back.
Or you could just get a cone of silence.
Yes.
From Get Smart. Do that.
Well, we'll see how long this lasts because I can't put a fan in here because you'd hear. So.
I did have a tip of money saving opportunity for our listeners. Don't see the movie Parker.
Don't see the movie Parker.
We drove to Mooresville this weekend to see Royster's wedding, which was awesome. Then we drove from there back to Durham and stayed in a hotel. Give Terry and I a little time by ourselves. We went out, went shopping. We were going to go see a movie, but we were so tired from driving, we decided to get a room, movie pay-per-view at our hotel room. So we went through and it's like, just out of the theater movies and all this kind of Die Hard was on there. A couple other movies were on there. And she likes Jason Statham, so we got Parker. It was terrible. It was terrible. On the ride home tonight, she even said, I feel like watching a movie tonight to get that movie out of my head. I said, was it that bad to you too? Well, it wasn't the best. So it was,
I don't even think I know what it's about. What's it about?
He's a criminal, and he's a thief, and Nick Nolte's in it. Nick Nolte's like an older friend who gives him tips about there's a job you can do, and he hooks him up with these people, and they turn on him. And all that you can see in the trailer. And and then it goes downhill because Jennifer Lopez is in it. I don't know why she's in it, but she does not do anything for this movie. And to be honest, I'm not sure what she's done good since Selena. That was probably her best movie. And since then, she's just kind of been Jennifer Lopez in movies. I don't know what she's done since then. But I like Jason Statham. But it just...
Oh, gosh. I just looked it up. I can't stand that actor.
The bald-headed guy?
Yes, I cannot stand that actor.
He's one of Terry's favorites, so we have to.
Well,
now, did you?
Not mine.
But you like The Italian Job? He's in that.
Okay, he was good in The Italian Job,
and he's also good in the Bank Job. That was the English bank robbery where they dug underneath. I liked him in that one. I thought that was good.
Okay. He was all right.
And Killer
Have
Elite.
you seen?
He was really good in Killer Elite with Robert De Niro. He played a regular guy. He didn't play the superhero kickboxing guy. He played a regular guy, but it was good.
Have you seen Seven Psychopaths?
Yes. That is such... There's so many great lines in that movie. I can't even think of one right now. But Sam Rockwell is one of my favorite actors. I'm not a big Colin Farrell fan, but I love Sam Rockwell. He is so funny.
Oh, man. It reminded me of another movie with a bunch of misfits in it, but I don't remember the name of it. I have it in my library, too. Anyway, I don't remember it. But...
Yeah, I'm the one that told you to watch it.
What, Seven Psychopaths?
Yeah, I think so.
I rented it.
Oh.
And then I texted you and said, have you seen this? Because I was watching the first part of it and was already liking it.
Oh, okay.
Those two guys talking about killing somebody.
That's a dog napping movie.
Yeah.
They got the wrong dog. They went after Woody Harrelson's dog, and they shouldn't have.
Yeah, they shouldn't have. Man. Oh, well. By the way, I started to watch Skyfall tonight, or this afternoon.
Finally.
Yeah, I know. I got about halfway through it.
On 3D? Is that that? No. You got The Hobbit on 3D.
Oh, Hobbit in 3D. Boy, I can't wait to watch that in 3D. Mm-hmm. I did finish The Hobbit last night. It was good as usual. Oh, so Connie hadn't seen The Hobbit yet. Mm-hmm. So we're sitting there watching it. And it's like we're, 2 hours and 50 minutes into the movie. It's like almost over. Mm-hmm. So 2 hours and 30-something minutes into the movie. And Timothy's, okay, it's almost over. And Connie goes, but they haven't done, and she named some dragon or something. And he goes, Mom, this is part 1 of 3. And she goes, what? Oh, my gosh.
Yes. Can't wait for part 2, The Desolation of Smog.
Yep, part 2. It's going to be good. That's going to be good. All right. So anything else for Shootin' the Breeze tonight, or is what you're going to talk to me about not for Shootin' the Breeze?
It's not for Shootin' the Breeze.
All right. Well, then, everybody, thanks for hanging around and listening to Shootin' the Breeze. And go out and listen to that Katie Gets Crabby podcast where she interviews a recent survivor. The survivor's name is Jamie, but I don't remember the last name.
Yeah, I didn't see the last name.
So,
but you'll get to hear our finished product. It took us 30 minutes to do, and you're going to say, it took you 30 minutes to do that?
Yeah. You know what we might do, just for the fun of it? For our Facebook listeners, put out like an MP3 and put the link on our Facebook group of the 10 minutes of us trying to figure out how to do this. Because, oh my goodness, it was hilarious.
Yeah, then we'll get feedback to that. You're right, guys. You should not do commercials.
Yes. Well, it's so hard to sound natural in a commercial.
And if we'd written a script, we would have sounded worse. So,
yeah, I mean, even the end of our podcast, thanks for downloading. I mean, even that to me sometimes sounds scripted and
my favorite part was you trying to say the name as you read it off your phone. And you're listening to the Krabby Patty Show.
Krabby Patty?
Whatever it is.
No,
Katie gets crabby. Sorry, Katie. Katie gets crabby.
What's bad is I've listened to like one of her podcasts. I haven't listened to.
And she's a former survivor?
No. Oh,
no. I thought she was. Okay.
So anyway, forget it.
Yep.
Well, I think what happened was she posted something on Facebook on Twitter once, and I liked it, so I favorited it and retweeted it and started following her. Mm-hmm. Right, and then as Survivor Talk. I don't even tweet anymore as myself.
Yeah.
I only tweet as Survivor Talk now. But anyway, and then I did a Follow Friday, and I made her one of my Follow Fridays, and then we got into this conversation about something. Mm-hmm. And so that's how she offered it to us,
Hey,
so.
Have you listened to Penner and Rob C yet? Do you have time to listen to that?
No, I have not. I don't know if I want to listen to Penner, because Penner's annoyed me because he blocked us.
Well, see, he is still annoying, and I know he'll never come on our show, so I'll say that about him. Okay. I mean, he's got a few interesting things to say, but he's still, to me, narrating his storyline to a point. Yeah. But he did mention something that was kind of neat when they talked about the auctions. And he said that when he got the fried chicken and fries, which we did not see, Scoopin told us about that. When he got it, he tried to share it with Carter. He said they got really upset with him. So that's probably why we didn't see that part of the auction. Just that one little bit. Just a little.
Even after they said you're not allowed to share, he still tried to do it?
He still tried to, I guess he tried to slip Carter some French fries or something to help him out. And he wouldn't do it.
Well, I'd get upset too if I was production. Yeah. It's like, dude, these are the rules.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, do you really want us to have to do consequences for you breaking the rules? Because we will.
And that's why I wonder if there was more that we didn't see, because everybody's like, Eddie had $500. I'm like, well, did he? Did he still have $500 at the end?
Yeah, maybe he didn't.
Right. So
maybe he spent it on something else.
We never see every round of the auction, it seems like. So
no. But still, Cochran should have had it he should have said $500 right away.
You know what? Cochran said, hey, I'm bidding against Eddie. Nah, I can get by with $340.
Still big chance to take.
Yep.
So, all right. So you don't have anything else?
Nope.
All right. Thanks everybody for hanging around.
See ya.
Talk to you later. Bye.